is Russ. Yeah, we're back out on the road again. Yeah, I thought we were done for the year, but today the weather seems to be half decent. Well, okay, 54 degrees, something like that. And so I figured, well, let's head out there. Now, the one thing I don't have on, which I wish I had, was the little beanie cap that I wear underneath my helmet. I can't find that. It's somewhere in the house. I have no idea where it went. So I am riding without it. I do have my helmet on, of course. And so today I figured what I'll do, I'm gonna let this car pass me here. Let's take the bike path here. I figured we'd go to Lake Arlington today and maybe hit Prospect Heights Trail, because that is a little more of a distance than having to just stay around the neighborhoods. And that was my attempt to a stop. And so, yeah, we have the 360 camera on the helmet, got the GoPro in front of me. I don't have my yellow vest on today. Yeah, I've got this big heavy jacket on, and I figured the jacket I'm wearing right now is a little thick, and so it was going to be a little harder to wear the yellow safety vest. So I have my Ex-Nito helmet on, which of course has a headlight. I'm going to turn on the headlight to this bike as well. It has a headlight and it has a blinking tail light. So hoping that gets some attention, but of course, you know, wearing all black on a black bike, well, not the most visible, so I have to be more careful. Alright, so I'm using the Apple Maps to guide me to get to Lake Arlington. I know how to get there, but I want to see what it tells me to do. I've already kind of missed, I think, a couple of turns it told me to do, so it's rerouted itself. Now you see on the path here, they have these orange and green markers. I think they do plow this path because people do walk it during the winter. Obviously, bikes can go on it too if you want to risk it. I don't, so I haven't actually checked it out, but it seems like they do this during the winter time. So that way the plows kind of know which direction to go when they plow. Otherwise, it just looks like a blanket of snow, right? So I wanted to get back out if I could, and here we are. I don't know whether we'll be able to do it again, but I said that last time, right? And I mentioned before that, you know, what I always think is the last ride of the year, sometimes it really isn't. But this could very well be the last ride of the year. We don't know. So it is the day before Thanksgiving right now. I won't be uploading this thing until Saturday for you guys to see, because I got to edit it and everything. The 360 camera adds additional editing time for me, so it's not something I could do really quickly and still give you a full view of things. And of course, I'm still debating on how best to present both views for you. Resolution wise, the GoPro, which is this one right here, that gives you the best resolution. It shoots in 4K, and although the 360 camera claims, what does it claim, like 5.2K or something like that, that's split between the two lenses that's recording. So in reality, it's half of that. So you don't get quite the same. On your left. You don't get the same resolution as what the GoPro gives you, which is true full 4K. So I don't want to use it specifically just doing that and not using the GoPro. Besides, the GoPro typically gives us a little view of the handlebars, so you kind of know you're watching a bike ride. Otherwise, how would you know that, right? Now, people have asked me how I like the 360 camera. Overall, it's okay. I think you got to learn to use it, and you got to decide which views you'll show. We did the full 360 video. About half of the views were done there. The rest of them were done on the one where I actually picked out the views for you to see. And that's understandable because, it's fun for about the first minute or so, and after that it gets kind of boring, where you're having to control it yourself to decide what to see. On your left. I don't think she heard me. I think she had earbuds on. It's the problem of wearing stuff on when you're walking. You don't know your environment. Not the safest thing to do. And some of them you can hear through it, but she wasn't reacting. So since she's not reacting, my guess is she's hearing more music than she is in the environment. So I charged up the battery for the Area 13 Blackbird. That's what we're riding today. It's not fully charged, but I gave it a couple of hours at least. As you know, all of my bikes have been knocked down to 70% levels. And so I had to debate which bike was I going to take. And I said, well, I'll take the Blackbird. I would say this, the Blackbird is the largest bike I have in the arsenal. Physically, it is huge. And my wife says it's an intimidating looking bike. It is. That's why we like it. Yeah. I don't know, guys like big things like this, right? Yeah, the thing stands pretty tall. If I stood next to it, the handlebars and everything are way tall, and the frame is actually kind of large. I probably could have gone for the 24-inch wheel version. I requested the 26, and I do clear it, but it's a tight fit. I mean, once I hop off the bike, I am touching the top bar, but you move off to a little bit to the side, kind of angle a little bit, you're fine. So, and I'm used to having my 26-inch wheels because the 26-inch wheels are on all my other fat tire bikes. So I said, yeah, we'll do it. So if you hear me sniffling, it's because, it's still a little chilly out here. Now, according to my thermometer that's on the display screen, it shows 59 degrees. I don't think it's that high up, to tell you the truth. I checked with the weather forecasts in this local area. It was showing about 54, 55 at most. So anyway, I've been pedaling for most of this ride so far up to this point. I usually ride for a while before I turn on the cameras, and then a lot of times, as you know, when I'm actually talking, I don't pedal that often. I usually will throttle a lot because it's just a little bit easier, not have to think about the pedaling along with the talking and the decisions of where we're going and all that. But I have been pedaling a little bit more. I know that my ability to pedal is going to drop since we're going to be stuck inside, so I'm trying to pedal as much as I can to get a little bit of exercise. I would say for the time that I've been stuck in the inside, I've already gained a pound or two or more. There's just no activity. Yeah, so you really got to cut down on what you're eating and everything while you're stuck in the insides. Of course, tomorrow being Thanksgiving, that That's not going to be helpful for that. So maybe after Thanksgiving, gotta really watch what I'm eating and things, because I'm not getting the activity that I usually might get when I'm out riding the bike. Now, the reason I decided we'll do Lake Arlington is because I wanted to show you what the lake actually kind of looks like with the 360 camera, the different views. It's just, I know you've seen it before, but it's always been the forward view. And we'll just kind of show you a little bit with the 360 as well. And then after we've gone around it once or so, there's an exit point where I can actually get to the Prospect Heights Trail. So I figure I might be able to do two things in one. I did not bring a second battery, but we're not going that far that I would require two batteries. I think as long as I'm pedaling and the like, I should be fine. Like I said, I don't know how much I've charged into this battery. I gave it a couple hours, but it was still trying to charge before I had a chance to have to turn it off and get going. So, but you know, it registers 54 volts. But typically, I think many of the 52 volt batteries will charge up to about, what is it, like 56 or something like that? 58, 56, something like that. So it's not fully charged. So if you pedal, you help it out, right? So we should be fine. If you throttle it all, it's another story. All right, so we wait. Now I know I look a little more conspicuous to people now. I have this big camera on top of the helmet. Somebody said it's like doing Google Maps. Yeah, recording everything around you and mapping it out, right? Now to get through the intersection, I typically will throttle and pedal at the same time just to get a little extra boost to get through it. I'm just waiting for the cars to pass me. Now, even though I look around, I noticed that on the 360 camera, there's some type of stabilization on there as well, keeping everything in a forward type view. So, and whenever you turn, you have to change the direction in the editing. Otherwise, it'll look like the bike is still facing in one direction, but you're moving in the opposite direction. But even turning my head left and right just to look, I don't see that as a major movement on the 360 camera, which is kind of surprising. You would tend to think, you know, and if you had like a GoPro on top of your helmet, because people do that all the time too, when they're turning left and right, you see their head, you see the view turns left and right with them. You don't notice that as much on the 360. Or maybe I don't do as wide of a swing of my head when I'm doing those left and right turns or something. I have no idea. Now I brought the selfie stick as well, so I'll show you what I look like when I'm pedaling and the like, but I don't know when I should do that. I think I'll do that when I get to Lake Arlington. And I think there'll be more opportunities there to have the selfie stick sticking out in front of me and to the side of me. Now, one thing I wanted to mention too, people have mentioned on the KBO Ranger video that we did, that reviewed that, they said, man, that's such a small looking bike. No, it isn't. It was the angle of the camera aiming downwards made that bike look really small with me on top of it. So I learned that to do that shot, you have to be more of a lower angle of the camera. Otherwise, it does make you look like you're really big and the bike is really small, which of course is not what the case is. The bike is as big as any other bike. So I'll try to do that a little bit better this time once we get to the lake. Yeah, some of these houses are pretty large. Take a look at the one on the left. Yeah, I'll show you some of these houses around here. Every time I pass by this area, I always say, wow, these houses are something else. Here's another one on the right-hand corner. Yeah, these are kind of impressive looking houses, I would say. Yeah, I'm sniffling pretty good here. So yeah, it's good to be back out a little bit. It's a little colder than I'm used to usually, but like I said, I've got a big heavy jacket on, so that's helped a lot. I think if I had the little beanie cap underneath my X-Nito helmet, it would help a lot more, because that usually will cover my ears as well. But yeah, I can't find it. I know I still have it. It's around somewhere in the house. Usually I put all my stuff together in one spot. It's just not there. I don't know what happened. Alright, well, I think we'll go to the edge here. If I step up on top of the curb, it makes it a little bit easier. Then I don't really 100% have to hop down. I'm still off the saddle though. But yeah, you put your foot on the curb, put the other foot on the pedal. You know, one thing I've noticed with this Area 13 bike, it's got such a kick to it that if I hit the throttle while I'm off the bike, like I'm straddling the bike, and then I try to step up onto the saddle, sometimes it's got so much of a kick that the front end of the bike will lift up. It almost wants to do a wheelie on me. So I always have to remember I have to push down on the handlebar a little bit, put a little bit of weight in the front end of the bike to keep the bike down. Otherwise, it'll probably do a wheelie. So, anyways, thanks again to Kyle at Area 13 for providing me with this bike and all the guys that work there. They have a sale on Black Friday, of course, and they've been having a sale on this bike for a while. They're trying to clear out all of the Blackbirds that are labeled Bolton, because as you know, Area 13 used to be called Bolton eBikes. So they're selling their $2,700 bike for $19.99. So if you're looking to get one of these bikes, this would be the time to do it. Save about $700 on the bike. That's a little plug for Area 13. But yeah, those guys have been really good. I like the bike. All right, I think we're about ready to go. Here we go. So yeah, check out Area 13's website. They have a whole bunch of good bikes there. Now, admittedly, many of the bikes are more expensive than some of the other bikes you might be familiar with. But I have to tell you that componentry-wise, you're getting better component parts on these bikes. That's what you're paying for with them. Like I said, I've always kind of thought of their bikes as kind of like customized bikes. They have better parts on there than some of the other bikes out there. Yeah, you pay a little bit more, but you get a little bit more as well. So have you guys been riding? I know some of you guys have been mentioning in the comments that you're still riding and you'll continue to ride through the winter. So be careful when you do it, but I'm glad you're out there. For me, yeah, you know, I will ride when I can ride. But usually when it drops below 50 degrees, I don't even consider it. I just say no. It's a little too cold for me. All right, I think we got to turn here, but I think the car is behind me. One more. Got to go to the stop sign. and then turn. But the guy is actually traveling rather slowly, so I'm just gonna go off over here, put my hand out there, let them know I'm turning, and then go. Oh, by the way, I did hear from Magicycle. I was getting desperate. I was trying to find out, you know, what happened with the batteries, because they told me that they were shipping the batteries, the second batteries, to me, and then I didn't hear from them, and I didn't see any batteries, and I kept thinking, did they deliver it to somebody else? Because, you know, they had a front basket, 2 front baskets sent to me, and one of them showed up and the other one didn't. And they said from their records it was shipped out. So that kind of told me that it either got delivered somewhere else or somebody stole it or who knows what. And they ended up sending me another one, of course. So I actually have an extra front basket still. And I don't know if it was the one that showed up, finally showed up, and then they sent me another one on top of that or what. But anyway. So I was a little nervous about what happened to the battery, so I was trying to desperately contact them to let them know, hey, the thing didn't show, and then I didn't hear from them for a while. And so I got so desperate, I went onto their Facebook site, which is you know, their e-bike group essentially. And then just put a note out there and say, hey, you know, contact me. And then they did. So I don't know what happened, but they didn't see the emails. And so they got back in contact with me. So here's the updates. The Ocelot Pro second battery, they said they will have that shipped out to me. And then they said that they have the rear rack for the Jaguar Rundy as well, that they plan to send out to me at the same time. But the Jaguar Rundy second battery will not be available yet, so it's still something that we're all waiting for. So not really sure why that is. Could be shipment, could be anything. I mean, really, who knows why things get delayed, but you know, it's a long time. So that's the story with Magicycle. At least we finally got a hold of them. Just don't know what happened, but we did finally get in contact with them. Another thing is, even with the second battery, I can't really do anything with it at this point. I just want to make sure we get it and it doesn't get stolen or lost. And that's an expensive item. It's not a cheap item. Batteries are not cheap. So best to let them know it didn't show, even because they said that they were going to ship it out soon, and you know, here it is like a month after that and it still hasn't arrived. So yeah. Sometimes you just got to let them know. Alright, was I supposed to turn there? I don't know if I was or not. This is rerouting. Let's see what it says. Just take a right onto the bike path. Okay, well, I don't see it yet, but we'll keep our eyes open. I think it's a little bit further up here. Yep, there we are. Okay, let's see how many people are on here today. We got some little kids, got a kid on a scooter, a couple kids on a scooter. Let's see what it looks like. Take it right over here. All right. Okay, we gotta stop this map. I don't know if that'll just stop it. Get rid of it altogether. So we're at Lake Arlington at this point. Lake Arlington in general during the main summer months could get kind of crowded. Not so bad right now. I'll try the selfie stick. Let me pull it out here. And I gotta disconnect the take off the 360 camera. That's gonna be a little tough. Let me do this. Move off the path in case others come. Alright. Now, thing is with the gloves on, I can't feel anything. So let me just feel for the camera here. See if I can unscrew it without disconnecting it off of my helmet. There we go. Still shows recording. And I will screw on the selfie stick. Put back on the gloves. It's a whole ordeal, I'm telling you. This is not it's not easy. When I get ready for riding the bike, there's so many little odds and ends things I have to do. Let's get back on the bike. I gotta watch out for all the goose poop. There's always a lot of goose poop around here. Okay. There we go. Let's get some length in this selfie stick here. Alright, so I'm gonna throttle instead. I'm gonna hold this just like this. Give you a forward view of me. Now the camera is bouncing a little as I do this. But if I do it right, you should be able to see me. Now a forward view is a good shot here because I've got too many people to do a side view shot. But I'll do that once everyone disappears. Alright, so let me give you a side view angle shot here. So now to do this, I found that you gotta keep this pretty much parallel to you. Alright, let me move this out here. You gotta keep it parallel to you. I keep moving it out of the way when people come. Otherwise you don't get to see it. Let me do this other view here. There we go, still recording. I just want to make sure it's still recording. I heard a beeping. I'm going to move it off to this side so you can see it, because then I won't be in people's way. Plus you see the lake on the side. Coming through. Alright, now that guy should be all the way on the left side. That is the walking lane. He was on the bike lane. That's what I find is that people don't really know over here. They don't know what is the walking lane. They don't know what is the bike lane. So yeah, I'm keeping it fairly parallel at this point to me. I'm hoping that this gives me a better view of the riding as well as the lake at the same time. Riding with one hand is tough, but again, what's nice too on this one is the throttle is actually on my left hand. Move some bushes here and move out of the way there. So yeah, it's different. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll continue with the Lake Arlington a little bit later. I'm going to get off of it because this is where we go for the other place that we're going to go, which is Prospect Heights Trail. Stop here for a second here. All right, we're back and running. think we need to go this way here to the left. So let's do that. Yeah, some of the water actually looks already a little frozen. If you take a look at the one on the right-hand side, it's got a glaze over it already. I didn't think it was that cold that it would actually freeze up the water that quickly. But it's got a little frozen water on the top. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Parts of it looks like it's clear open water, and the other parts of it looks like it's frozen over already. It wasn't that cold here. That car was deciding whether they should go forward or not, and they saw me. Yeah, let me go first. All right, so we got to cross over to the other side. Let's see here. Make it here, but we got to take a left turn over here. We've got to wait our turn. We've got too many cars. Cars letting me through, so we're gonna go. Say thank you. Yeah, if they don't let you go, then you're stuck just like any other car would be stuck, right? Alright, so we're on the Prospect Heights Trail at this point. Now we've done this many times in the past as well, but if you're new to the channel, it's new to you. Now they resurfaced some of this trail. This area is resurfaced here, but it's still bumpy, but it's better than it was. And it looks like they striped it as well. But later on, as we go forward, it doesn't do the whole thing. So I think this trail goes to a couple of different villages. Small little suburbs here. They call them villages. They can call them cities. The village of this and the village of that. So it's the suburbs of Chicago. And people have always asked me, where are you at? Yeah, we're in the suburbs of Chicago, northwest suburbs of Chicago. Well, one thing that I want to mention too, you might have noticed when I have my Rad Rover 5, I have a Bluetooth speaker on the handlebar, usually with that one. I haven't used that thing in a long time. I bought it when I first got the bike, but then when I started doing these recordings on YouTube, I can't run that at the same time, right? On your left. So it just kind of sits there. I usually will play that if I'm by myself riding a distance or something and I want to get some, get a little bit of, there's a couple of e-bikes right there. Trying to get a little bit of, company. My music is my company. But when I'm doing these YouTube videos, you guys are my company. You guys are the guys that are keeping me going. It's like talking to yourself, but I know that eventually you guys are watching and listening and watching. So, yeah, you're my riding buddies essentially. And some of you guys have told me too that you run the Russ's Ride videos while you're riding. So I become your riding buddy. Yeah, you don't actually watch it. I think it's time to go. You don't actually watch it, but you listen to me, which is fine. I keep you company, you keep me company. That's how it works, right? So yeah, today's not so bad. What does it say here? Still says 59 degrees. I think that's actually off. I don't think it's actually 59. Might be closer to 55, 56 maybe at best. I don't know. So anyway, I had a note on my phone. It says, take out butter at 2 p.m. Well, it's 2 p.m. now. I'm not home to take out the butter. Why am I taking out the butter? Well, my wife is going to make some cookies. And you need to have the butter closer to room temperature. So she's going to make some cookies a little bit later. She's at work right now while I'm out enjoying our bike ride. So I take out the butter earlier, so by the time she gets home, she has dinner, whatever, then it's ready to work with it. So yeah, it'll be a little bit late. Sorry. Sorry, we can't pass up the opportunity to go out on a bike ride. So the cookie making will have to wait a little bit. She's making cookies. I am smoking up some ribs. The cables got stuck here. I hope that didn't mess up the sound. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, the cable was stuck on my arm. Typically that cable would slide easily, but it was stuck on my arm because the jacket is thicker, and as you're bending your arm, it causes a crease. So I'm like trying to fight this cable to get it out of my way. It was pulling on my helmet, and hopefully it didn't mess up some of the audio. You might hear some crackling sounds going on because of that. Sorry about that. But yeah, the cable was underneath my arm. It really is usually over my arm. So I tried to fling it back over the top, but yeah, what a mess. It's a lot tougher riding with the jacket on. I feel so bundled up. I'm sure the front view and side view just makes me look even fatter than I am. But it's either do that or freeze to death. So yeah, 50 something, 54, 55 degrees, you're not going to freeze to death, but still, it's colder than we're used to. Okay, here, I'll check out this area. Now, I've shown you guys this area before, but the 360 will probably show it a little bit better. This is the high tension wire area where they deal with all electricity, and they fenced it all off now. They used to not do that. It used to be, it was fenced off, but they didn't put this like metal grating, so you can see through it real easy. Now it's kind of harder to see because that mesh is in the way. But yeah, some of that stuff is kind of scary. I wouldn't want to go in there, not with all the power that goes through that area. And then when it's a little drizzly, you can hear the high tension wires just clicking, which of course makes you even more nervous about all the electricity in the area. But a lot of these bike paths go through the areas where there are the high tension wires, because you know this area, they really can't sell the ground in this area for much of anything, so they put bike paths next to it. Good for bike riders, but I've seen some signs that said that, you know, you might feel some tingling sensation. You might feel some tingling sensation when you go underneath the high tension wires. Well, that's not good. That's kind of like stray electricity or something, right? So yeah, these trigger shifters are always interesting. You don't have to reach over as much as some of the other shifters, the less expensive Shimano shifters that come on most of the bikes. You know, the ones that have a shifter on the top and for the down shifting and all that. So the derailleur and the shifter here is made by SRAM. It's not made by Shimano, it's made by SRAM. It's another brand. The Shimano trigger shifters are actually nice. I like those a lot because on this one to shift down, I hit this, and then I have to move my thumb underneath. There's another trigger shifter below it to shift up. On the Shimano version, you shift here, and then there's another one by your index finger. So you can shift quicker, I think, on the Shimano, in my opinion. Still, it's nice to be all together here, rather than having to reach up over the top on the less expensive Shimano shifters. So yeah, we're not doing real fast on the bike path, which is fine. I think the bike paths are usually, what are they, about 15 miles per hour limit anyway. We're going about 15, so we're not going really fast. But over here, you might see that they didn't fix the roads here, so it is a little bit more beat up, and the striping is still the old striping. I've been a little bit more quiet, just kind of give you guys more feel of what the area is like. My wife has always said, "Oh, you're always constantly talking. Why don't you let the people listen on their own?" And I says, "Well, no commentary. That would be, I don't know, to me, it'd be kind of a boring video. So I shut up every now and then." Well, I will say this, everything is all browned out now. You won't have anything that's green. Look, the grass is still green, greenish, but everything around it, it's all dried out and burnt out looking. It always smells around here. They got some type of fertilizer or something that they do here all the time. It always kind of smells around this area. So what we'll do is we'll ride all the way up to the Park District area. Then we'll turn around, we'll come back out. So what else is new? Well, a couple of the other manufacturers that have given me bikes have come out with some new product as well. KBO Bikes has a new bike that's out. It's a folding bike. They just introduced a new inexpensive fat tire bike as well. So you check out the KBO website. You can take a look to see what they're offering now. And of course, the commuter bike that they have, which is called KBO Breeze, is still there. KBO Ranger, which is the bike they just gave me, that's still there, of course. That's the cargo bike. I'm surprised Rad Power Bikes hasn't introduced any new model. When they did a huge drop in price on the Rad Rover 6, Rad Rover 6 Plus, when they dropped it like $700 something, I thought for sure that meant they're getting rid of the bike and that they're probably going to replace it. But nope, they haven't introduced anything new. Okay, this guy's letting me go. FedEx guy's there. Yeah, some cars will stop and let you go. Others won't, but you got to make sure both sides are good. FedEx truck was far enough away that I knew I could make it. Always ways to thank you to the drivers, let them know we appreciate them stopping for us. So yeah, Rad has not introduced any new product, which kind of surprised me because I think last year, around the November time period, I think that's when they introduced the new models for the next year. But yeah, we haven't heard anything, so maybe they're going to stay with the current models for another year. Just makes me wonder why they dropped the price on the Rad Rover 6 Plus so heavily. Maybe they have too many of them weren't selling it as much, because throughout that entire time they kept dropping the pricing on that bike. And although there's still a discount going on it, the best we've seen was a $700 discount. Some of you guys took advantage of that, and Yeah, that's probably the best deal you're going to get on some type of a bike. Now, people have asked me, have I abandoned Rad? And the answer is no. I still use the Rad Rover 5 when I go for distance rides, because I have two batteries, two triangle batteries that I retrofitted onto that bike, and that gives me more range than anything else. So I use that bike if I'm going to the Botanic Gardens. These guys are playing soccer. So no, I haven't abandoned it. I don't ride it that often because I don't go the distance all the time, and so it doesn't get ridden as often as I used to ride it. I rode it 2,600 miles last year. This year, with all the other bikes that came in, it didn't get as much riding time because we had review bikes and stuff, and now I've got a lot of bikes I can choose from to ride. So yeah, I didn't get that many miles to ride this year. All right, I think we're good. I think I'm gonna do a turnaround and then we'll head back. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching and keeping me company. I'll probably go ahead and split this up, create a second video, and that'll be the ride back home. I mean, we gotta make a video out of that too, because we're still here. But I didn't bring two batteries, and I know I'm gonna. Well, maybe I just won't make another video. It'll be the exact same thing anyway, right? Yeah, we'll just call it a day, and I'll just ride back on my own. No one to talk to, no Bluetooth speaker here to keep me company. Of course, I have the cell phone. I guess I could turn that on if I wanted to. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching for this video and riding along with me. It might be the last ride for the year. I have a gut feeling it very well might be. But hey, we said that last year, and in December I was still riding. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. By the time you see this, you would have already done your Thanksgiving, but I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you guys next time.